Heyo. Hey guys, welcome. It's been so long. It's been like I think over a year since I've done a live stream. Did a couple videos here and there. Got really kind of sidetracked by life and other things, but it's time. It's time to make this thing happen again. So I'm back. I'm coming back to stream about not just comics, but especially comics. How about that? Like not just, but especially. So there's nobody I want to talk to more about comics and about Superman because we're in this moment of Superman zeitgeist right now. And I think it was ushered in by Kirt Burdick and his amazing Death of Power, because before they were talking about James Gunn's Superman, the only buzz about Superman out there was about Kirt Burdick's Death of Power. Like that was it amongst those of us who really care and know about comics. Like there was nothing else. So let's just bring him in right now and talk all about Superman and Death of Power. Okay, Kirt, welcome back.
What's up? Yeah, thank you for the high praise there.
Well, dude,
100% accurate praise.
Every issue of Death of Power that I get, and you send them to me, dude. You don't have to send them to me, but you send them to me.
Yeah, you're on the list.
Amazing, because I savor and wait for everyone. I read almost nothing. I certainly am not reading any Superman comics. There was one I was looking forward to. We can talk about later, and it's out right now, but I had to drop it. But
okay.
But I look forward to yours so much because we have to just talk about your style, where it's come from, where it came from, and where it's going again. Because this is like some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen in my life, and like in the best way. Like it's not just out there like Gonzo wise, because it is, dude. It's not for kids. It says so.
Yeah. Yeah. No kids allowed. Get out.
But why? Why? Like tell like what? Why did this death of why did Superman like obsess you? It took you over. You were in the middle of your own thing. You were putting out your own comics, and you got suddenly obsessed with Superman.
Well, right after I finished doing Galacto Pit Fighter Requiem for a Humanity, which was Galacto Pit Fighter 2, I was kind of it was still during COVID, and I was still furloughed, and there was a podcast that had a comic book competition that, unbeknownst to me, was actually already canceled. But because I just needed something to focus on, I went ahead and did that. And it was a really short 10-page comic about a serial killer from Santa Cruz called, and the title of it was Herbie Song. It was about Herbert Mullen and a murder he did.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And around that same time, cartoonist Kayfabe, the great, the world's greatest YouTube channel on comics, outside of yours, you're a close second, Dan.
Please rest in peace, Ed Piskor. Well, they were fans, they watched.
Yeah, they were both. Wasn't Ed and Jim both on your show? I think
both were definitely on here, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And was Ed not to sidetrack, but Ed passing away is a big thing that took the wind out of my sails.
Yeah, I think everyone.
I got that email, his suicide email.
I know.
The morning that it happened.
Yeah,
and it was.
I didn't, I didn't get
Easy.
it. I mean, yeah, I got it from a friend, sent it to me. And I was driving back from WonderCon, from LA back to SF. And yeah, it was a kick in the gut.
Because I had reached out to him just to say, like, when his show got canceled in Pittsburgh, I was like, oh man, this is terrible, Ed, but like, nobody's made it till they get canceled. Like, stick in there, don't worry about it. He's gonna get past it. And he was thankful the moment for that, but it had to be.
Yeah, it must have been a nightmare, for him. Obviously it was.
But it's good to see his family posthumously publishing his work and making.
Yeah. I think I just got the Switchblade Shorties in. I'm really looking forward to it. I really liked the concept of Switchblade Shorties. And the reason, the theme of it, I really, really spoke to me, because it was about doing a young adults book, which is, everyone's trying to do their young adults book. You get their Scholastics publication, right? But this was targeted for latchkey kids, maybe kids from a bad background or dysfunctional families. And the majority of work out there for young adults, for kids, it's for a different class, a different kids from a different background, from a more supportive background, which is good. It's good to have that. Like, Renee Tegelmeyer's books are great, but if you're coming from a dysfunctional family, it might not speak to you the same way as it would coming from someone from a middle-class family.
Yeah.
And I felt like Switchblade Shorties was, being a outlet for, kids from, a lower middle-class background. And also it was still within the theme of Ed Piskor's love of EC comics and horror and
the daily comic strip
and the daily comic strip. I've been reading a bunch of old comic strips. Like I've been reading a lot of EC Seeger lately. Like the original, a friend of mine gave me his the Fantagraphics collection of the daily strips when he was introduced in Thimble Theater.
Yes.
And I'm blown away by it. I think Thimble, like E.C. Seeger and Thimble Theater, is just so fantastic. It's probably the best comic strip I think I've read, including Bloom County and Calvin and Hobbes.
Whoa.
I mean,
well, when you think of the cultural impact, dude, of a Popeye, like, dude, that character lasted for like 100 years solid. Like he's on a tier of world recognition with Superman. Yeah.
And I think after reading the comic strip, because the comic strip's a little bit different. He's just a sailor who likes to fight, and he always basically wins. And I'm not 100% sure that Superman could beat Popeye in a fight.
Totally. You nailed it, dude. You nailed it.
Because of the psychological, that this runt is going to beat me. I think that's where Popeye has an edge on Superman.
I think Popeye strays into the magical realm.
Yeah, and that's his weakness, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
yeah.
I could go off on Popeye for a really long time, man, because I have a big theory that
I have a couple theories about the influence of Popeye.
We got to talk about Popeye too, and Superman. I got nothing but time.
Don't you always have like Popeye at the end of your show?
Popeye is so special and so important, and yet now he was like an icon for kids starting in the what the 20s or the 30s for Thimble Theater?
20s.
20s, okay.
20s, yeah,
So,
like late 20s.
Huge runaway hit, icon, kids.
Thimble Theater started before that, though. I mean,
right, and then he is his as a character. He took over that thing and became like nobody knows Thimble Theater. Literally, nobody knows it.
Yeah,
everybody knows Popeye.
Yeah,
but I for the first time, man, I'm getting like there's a generation that grew up. They decided a little while ago that like you can't have a guy who just smokes a pipe and fist fights his way out of every problem. Like that's not an okay thing to show to kids.
We went woke. No, sorry. God damn it.
And maybe it's good, maybe it's not, whatever. Say what you will.
It is pretty hilarious that for many, many decades, one of the top children's entertainment cartoon was about a guy who was missing an eye, liked to fight and smoke tobacco, and ate spinach for some reason.
I think that the common denominator, honestly, of what made them both was probably not their comics. It was the Fleischers.
Yeah,
it was because the Fleischers did both of those cartoons, and they both hold and let them draft into the public domain.
You mean Superman and Popeye?
And Popeye.
Yeah.
Right? And if you go back and watch those Popeye cartoons, if you go watch the Sinbad one, and you can't, we could play it right now because it's public domain.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great one. I love that cartoon.
But have you ever noticed that in multiple scenes, the backgrounds in that are 3D models?
Yeah. That
are, and they have moving cameras across this 3D, and it's like,
it's so amazing.
Light years beyond like what anybody else was doing. And then those Superman cartoons are still often imitated and never equaled in the way how elegant and beautiful they were. And I honestly think that it's both of those things, and maybe even the fact that that some of their stuff lapsed into the public domain, that it let TV stations play those cartoons really cheaply or for free in many cases. And it just, that's what made them like really stick around, especially Popeye, I think, but those Superman ones too.
They're both great. They got a new Blu-ray collection of the Fleischer Superman cartoons, which I picked up, which is really nice. It looks great because I think they actually have the original films.
They're so great.
So they can do a proper transfer.
My favorite thing about Fleischer Superman is what he doesn't do.
Yeah,
he doesn't hover.
No, he's not. It starts off he can't fly. He basically has the same powers as John Carter of Mars.
Yeah,
he's just strong. He can hop. I assume. Yeah, that was my description of hopping. But anyways, he hops around. He's bulletproof.
But it's still kind of hurt. They still can kind of hurt him.
Yeah, he's not, and I think that is a better version of the character. And I appreciated that they, wisely brought down the power level in the James Gunn Superman.
Smart. I mean, smart.
A lot of smart decisions in that film.
Yeah, they still don't. They still play a little fast and loose. Like I still don't get how Superman, like 100-ton building is falling on you, and you can grab it and pick the whole thing up. Like you would just swoosh right through it, right? Like,
yeah. Well,
have you read this one?
Oh, I did. I read that because of you.
Is it not incredible? It
is incredible. I mean, after reading that, I felt like this book specifically influenced JoJo Bizarre's Adventures because at the end of the book, he finds this Mayan temple that also discovered this, ability to create these Supermen.
I don't know what you're referring.
It's at the very end of the book.
No, I know the book, but I don't. What is JoJo's? I don't understand.
Oh, JoJo Bizarre's Adventures. They have these vampire masks that were from the Mayan temple, and they put it on their face, and they get like superpowers.
Yeah, okay. I don't know anything about that.
It's like they're super dudes from the Mayan temple, and then at the end of this book, there's a Mayan temple, and it goes like, I should not exist, and then he gets hit by spoilers, by the way.
Right. 100-year spoilers, yes.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. Here's my theory is, so he's not dead.
He's dead.
No.
God took him out. He's like, you are an abomination.
And the books. He was holding the book too, and the book got. But here's what happened. He's
not dead.
His death, and then he came back as a reporter at a major metropolitan newspaper, and he reforged his identity as Superman.
I do think like this book obvious. Everyone knows this book. Like, yeah, I think even the foreword it says like that book is a heavily influenced Superman, right?
The introduction by known comics scholar and child molester Gerard Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about Gerard.
Yeah.
Yee, creepy. Comics creep.
Yeah. Well,
But the book itself, man, when I read it, like when I read the scenes,
it was a really good book.
The violent scenes, the World War I, the trench warfare scenes, and
really
stuff.
Good.
So
also
visceral. I really think of your style when I'm reading.
Yeah. Also, that scene where he kills the bull, and then he kills it with a punch.
Yeah.
And then his I think girlfriend or girl he was with saw it and was just horrified because it's monstrous. But she also saw him drag the bull over to this wall and punch the wall and put blood on the wall to make it seem like the bull broke its neck by running into the wall to hide his ability.
Yes.
And, like little things like that were really, really cool in the book. And the World War I stuff was just pitch perfect. I mean, that was where if Zack Snyder made a film, that would almost be appropriate. Although I don't want Zack Snyder to make any more films. But,
me neither. But the scene, where Clark in the movie in Man of Steel, where Clark is like on a boat and he saves fishermen. Like, remember that happens in Gladiator too, where he like punches the brain out of a shark.
Maybe this book influenced his version of in the Man of Steel. The Man of Steel did have like good scenes. I mean, it was okay. I think it just got a little too repetitive at the end.
I honestly think it would have been great, but they seem to really miss the point of certain aspects of Superman. Like for Superman's father to be like, no, hide yourself.
That was bad.
Don't save anybody. Like, you don't owe them a thing.
That shows kind of the Randian nature of, I think, or leaning of Zack Snyder, I think. Or the writer. I forgot who the writer was.
Was it Goyer? I think. I don't know. It's proto-fascist, It's like it's not what you would think of Superman. Whereas Gunn nailed it and reversed it. He went out of his way in the new film to go 180, where Superman is saving squirrels and stuff. Like,
I really liked that. The fact, I think Superman needs to be a wholesome character like that.
This is from the author of Death of Power.
It's not Superman.
Yeah.
This is a different character. Well, it is. It is technically, it's a spoof of Superman. But I'm kind of using the tropes of Superman to tell a different story about technology and capitalism run amok, really.
I mean, those themes are evident in every single issue. But to me, it's the tour de force of the combination of the design, because the design is everything in this book to me.
Thank you.
Like your take on these different characters and your conceptualization of them, right down to the really, really unique color approach that you took on this book. Just put it in a different class of book to me, to where I'm surprised. Have you been approached, recorded by any major publishers, like to say, like, we want to get in the Kirt Burdick business?
No, I'm gonna submit that not yet, but I'm open for business.
Well, because what you prove with this series, to me anyways, is the consistency, a high level of quality, and the timeliness you're able to put this stuff out.
Yeah,
this goes a long way in proving like what you bring to the table as a professional.
Thanks. I do wish I could get like four out every year. Right now it's 3. But a lot of that's one because I was working. I've been furloughed for the summer, so that's pluses and minuses to that. You'd think you'd have more time, but you kind of don't. But yeah, so there's working and also managing the Kickstarters and managing the distribution and stuff. That takes a lot of time.
What about San Diego?
No, I haven't been able to get into San Diego.
Dude, because some of the things...
I've never gone to San Diego. I've never been.
I think you got to go, Kirt, because I know that these guys, if they haven't seen they're looking at your stuff. And they have to be liking it because it's...
Oh, I hope so.
It's amazing. Like Warp Drive. Your Warp Drive.
Oh, and yeah.
Every issue, there's 1 or 2 like gags, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You do in your book that just blow me away, that I've never seen before, but are so funny.
I had to make sure the way the Warp Drive works for the Amazonians was different from the Apocalyptic Earth, which is my version of
Boom Tube.
Yeah, a Boom Tube. Yeah. So the technology needed to be different, and since like the Amazonians are coming from a more mythical and magical background, it needed to be tied in. The technology needed to be tied into ritual and sacrifice.
It's so great, man. The hand of the gods. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, because you got to go out and buy.
Yeah, so this Kickstarter is going on right now. You can find it under Death of Power 7. It says this time it's war, referring to aliens, because the tagline for Aliens was this time it's war. And
so what's your... I mean... This was like Death of Superman, which is the impetus for this entire
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg were looking at Superman 75, where he dies, and I really just enjoyed that episode. And during that, Ed Piskor made the shout out to make your own version, like a kayfabe version or an outlaw version of a bootleg of the Death of Superman. So, and
I know they called you out in particular after.
Yeah, I think that was the first one to get my version in. So, like,
I'm the only one who scooped them. I happened to have picked up an issue. It called to me off the shelf of
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mission Comics in San Francisco. I went in, I was on vacation at Mission Comics, and I saw that, and I said, what is this thing? Instantaneously had to buy it and had to own it and show it to people. And I was like, it was heartening to see that Ed and Jim.
Yeah, I was kind of.
I did.
It was kind of a shock, I wasn't, I milled it out about a month before they had it on their show, and I kind of just forgot about it. They did, like, in one of their mailbag episodes, they looked at Fey Archaic, and I think I said in the Galacto, but they skipped on the Galactos.
I reviewed them both, folks.
So,
in my archives, you can check out the reviews of Fey Archaic, which I liked, and Galacto Pit Fighter, which I loved.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I'm sold out of issue 2. And I think that was I think issue 2, like, really, was a level up for me. Issue 1's really great too. But issue 2 has, it's set in the 80s, and there's a wrestling match that Galacto has with a human chimp hybrid called Humanzi.
I loved it, man.
It was really fun.
I'll be honest, like, yours is at the highest level of stuff that got submitted. I got really sent amazing. I have a whole box full of stuff I was sent when I was doing $1 Million Mailbox, and I want to come back and do it again, but like,
I think that would be great.
I don't, but it's gonna have to change a little bit. I don't think I got to figure out a new angle on it. And I owe a few people some reviews too. I got a few books in that I didn't get a chance to review before I had to shut the studio down for a while.
I know it really means a lot to artists, like when you did your review of Fey Archaic, that meant a lot for me. Like, it's just like, luckily you said positive things. I don't know what it'd be like. That would also mean a lot too, but maybe in the opposite sense.
You're lucky I didn't have Elliot R. Brown as a guest reviewer when you were on. Oh my gosh, that guy tore some new ones when he was on.
Oh boy, that's the guy who does the designs, right?
He did all the Handbook to the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Captain America's Shield and
Oh boy,
Quinjet cross sections.
I don't know, man. Like, but you can get a lot from someone like that who's really critical. Like,
he's amazing talent too.
Yeah. Like, I had at a con, Leaf actually introduced me to Eric Larson, and Eric Larson looked through Fey Archaic and was pointing out a lot of different things that I could improve on, and it was really, really useful. And it was actually really cool that he didn't care that, like, because a lot of times I've noticed that if you ask for critiques of, like, professionals, especially professionals who have been in the business for a while, they'll just say no.
Yeah.
Or they'll say platitudes because they don't want the someone to go on like, oh, this guy's fucking blah blah blah, totally. Like on the hellscape of the social media that we all, for whatever reason, enjoy as a society. But Eric Larson didn't care. He was like,
he's refreshingly honest. I had him on the show. I interviewed him,
and I really appreciated it. I thought it was really good, and I think that's what I needed to hear, and that's what I was looking for too. So.
Well, I give it up to that guy he was never my cup of tea. His comics were never my favorite comics in any way. But I admire his stick-to-itiveness and his, like, just wanting to keep his vision going when he could have just done nothing. He could have just coasted, and he's probably a multi-millionaire just from being an Image founder.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear the comics are really important to him. He thinks about them, talks about. That's all he thinks.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah, and he keeps evolving too. You know, is a someone who's doing it and is going to continue to do it every day.
He's almost like his style. When I start thinking about him, I start thinking like Keith Giffen,
Yeah,
sort of like a kind of post Kirby.
it's heavily. I think that's when I actually, because I didn't necessarily, to be honest, when I was younger, didn't fully like what you said. I didn't fully get Eric Larson
Yeah.
in his style until I saw his show at the Cartoon Art Museum. And then it clicked. And it clicked because I could see the influence from Kirby.
Yes.
And his love of the Kirby comic and
Yes.
the Kirby world building, Kirby action. But it's a modernization of that Kirby storytelling. And then it just all started to click about, okay, that's where this is coming from. That's what this love.
I'll be honest, it took a while for me to understand and be able to put Kirby in context enough to understand what was so great about it. Because if you're coming at it from a kid who started reading comics in the 80s, we had everything was already a post Kirby world, was so informed by him. It was difficult for me to.
But especially I think the stylization was already became dominantly kind of more of a realistic depiction of superheroes, like John Byrne or Neil Adams.
More photorealism.
Stylism. Stylism, is that a word? Style. Let's go back. Let's edit that. Style. So the style became more realistic in the Neil Adams or John Byrne aesthetic. So it took me a while to pick up on what was great about Kirby too, because it did seem just strange because of it was so abstract.
Yes. And it was very, very young. I would look at Neil Adams and I would go like, this guy is the greatest. Like he's the one. And you see everybody really pulled from Neil Adams. Like everybody pulled from Neil Adams. Yeah. But then when you hear Neil Adams talk, he's like, everything I got came from Kirby as far as the power of the page and the storytelling parts of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's exciting about Neil Adams, because you still have that energy imposing that and that power that that Jack Kirby had, but then you also have almost a Alex Raymond illustrative technique on top of that.
That was it to me. That's the top of the heap. But what's so sad is that neither of those guys could write worth a damn. Like they could come up with cool concepts and great designs and everything else, but nothing that they ever wrote themselves approached the stuff they did with collaborators with really good writers.
You mean with Jack Kirby too?
Kirby and Adams especially, like both of them. Like I love their stuff. I love their designs.
I like the fourth world stuff. I mean, I think the structure and the world building is as good as anything he did with Stan Lee.
I'll give you that, like the world building, the technology, the visual concepts, and everything. But they were kind of hokey and hard to read.
Yeah.
Right? They just weren't that that great.
Well, how dare you?
I know. How dare I? Don't get me wrong. Like I think
I have to read I have just been looking at the Fantastic Four comics, and it really those three issues that run starting with the coming of Galactus.
Yeah.
Just so good. I think that is why everyone, that's where Kirby really did become king of comics.
Oh, well, but when you think about it, that was what 50 issues in, right? 50 issues of FF of the craziest sci-fi concepts just let loose on comics.
Yeah, and you see his style evolve from his kind of romance comic style to the Kirby that we all know of, you know. And really that 3-issue where Galactus comes and Silver Surfer's introduced, that's like the first major event in modern superhero comics, I think. I don't. Was there anything that DC did that's equivalent to that? I don't know.
Well,
maybe. I mean, they did have some of the early Crisis stuff.
That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Yeah,
the early crises of like where they would do. I mean, opening up that wall between the dimensions and the universes and stuff.
Yeah,
implicitly was pretty
great too.
Pretty critical, pretty crucial, you know. And then they were taking much from the pulp magazines and stuff that those writers and stuff were inspired by.
Man, you know what I've been watching a lot of lately is Super Friends. That stuff is so ridiculous.
Alex Toth, right, did a ton of the work on
a lot of the designs. I don't know how happy he was with the execution of the animation.
Yeah, I just saw my brother posted it.
But I love it.
Posted a thing from like 1977. It was the Saturday morning TV lineup.
Yeah.
What was on. And by far, the best thing that you could find was Super Friends. And that was Drek. Like everything else was horrendous. Right down to like even the Looney Tunes. They were cranking out the new made-for-TV Looney Tunes of the 70s. Whereas like Speedy Gonzales and Daffy Duck or whatever, they were just so obviously of a lower quality. Yeah.
One thing of like growing up in the 70s, 80s era, we really are survivors of terrible, terrible, terrible television. Like some of the
cartoons
and except for Robotech.
Well, they got better. No, I take it.
Robotech came from Japan.
Cartoons though got so bad into the 70s, and then they kind of rebounded in the 80s. We got a little bit back, I think, quality wise, but it was all toy commercials at that time.
It was all toy commercials, yeah. I think even Robotech was originally trying to be like a toy commercial. But
I think it was.
But yeah, no, it was real garbage. I mean, you know, the one thing that the 80s television did have was pretty kick-ass theme songs. You know, like usually for the cartoons and for the live action television shows, the theme songs and the opening credits. That was like most of the reason did anyone watch Knight Rider for like what's going to happen in Night? You just watched it for that opening.
I mean, yeah, and even into the
I hated Knight Rider.
And the action cartoons, at least they had more action. You don't really get action cartoons for kids anymore.
I don't know what the scene is. You know, I've never seen the entirety of it, but there are like really great cartoons now, though. I mean,
what's your favorite
right now? Oh man, I highly recommend Primal. Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal.
Oh, okay.
Anything by Gendy Tartakovsky,
Another Popeye fan. Have you seen his his secret Popeye stuff that he did? Not to bring it back to Popeye, but it all comes back to Popeye, right?
Yeah, I know. They could have been a new $1 trillion franchise, and these cowards from Sony backed away because they didn't want to make a movie about I guess. Well, he wasn't even smoking though in the new one. He just had his.
They're like, we got 100-year-old American sailor, or we could bring you out like a crazy like kitty cat monster thing from Pokemon. Like, I really feel we're on the cusp. We're aging out now. Like,
we're already out.
right? Like the next wave of nostalgia that comes in is where it's going to be like Pokemon, and it's going to be Power Ranger, or it's already Power Ranger.
I think we're almost already past that too. Like
and then the comics that the kids grew up on, the kids today are not the Marvel and DC comics, and they grew up on
I think it is manga. Like it's been manga for
20 years now.
For 20 years. So most millennial kids who are now they have connections to manga and anime more so than the Marvel or DC.
Like, does Yu Yu Hakusho, does that mean anything to you?
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Like, it is a gigantic franchise. Like,
is it? Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho. It is. I remember there was when I had my store 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, and a couple kids that were so deep in it. It was already 30 volumes long. I'm sure it's way more than that. They're doing live action adaptations of it.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. And there's just all these things that, like, to you and me, like a phrase like that means nothing, but that is a humongous IP to the younger generation.
I think like there is something interesting happening where, and it might be a consequence of our population just being so large that there can be like really large fan bases for influential franchises that the majority of people never even hear of.
It's crazy.
How
can that be? How can the majority of people never hear about something that is popular?
Everyone's so in their own algorithmically designed bubble now. So
it's all pluralities and not majorities for anything.
Yeah. And
I think that's probably good. Like, because we've never had a time when somebody like you can, like, you're self-publishing and
yeah.
Are you making any kind of money at all off of it?
I'm making a little, but I can't like quit my day job.
Yeah, not livable money. Yeah.
Until Dan Shaheen's,
dude,
like shout out happens.
Well, I'll tell you this:
everyone gets my Kickstarter. And, just gets the most expensive stuff.
Well, do you like Daniel Warren Johnson?
Fucks.
What? Do you like Daniel Warren Johnson?
I love Daniel Warren Johnson.
Do you like Trad Moore?
Oh, yeah.
Do you like...
all these guys are great.
Who else is in that camp right now that I'm thinking? But anyway, dude, that is you are... Right, you are in that category to me. Like,
wow.
It would be fools not to bring you on in some capacity on a mainstream book and just have you working doing something. I can't.
Yeah.
Not that you need that. Not that you. I mean, that's what you were aspiring to do, but it would elevate your profile so much.
Honestly, like I mean, I do need that. That security of having a success like that.
What about covers?
I'd be open for covers too.
The cover you did for Don Simpson, the Megaton.
Yeah, that was great. That was so
Action
nice.
Comics #1 is
Anguish,
so great. The Anguish Comics.
Anguish. It's a spoof of Action Comics. Yeah,
of course.
Oh, hey, for the James Gunn Superman, wasn't it cool that he did the old Superman, logo for the DC in the beginning, where it showed Superman breaking the chains with his chest?
Yes, yeah.
I knew, I was like, okay, this is going. He understands, and like, I really felt like he understood each of the characters that he introduced from Green Lantern to Hawk Girl to Superman. And Lex Luthor, I thought was probably my favorite modern version.
I agree, man. I thought it was great.
And the fact that they just made him evil, like, thanks. It's just a selfish, evil, mad scientist. I thought that was fine. I loved it.
I thought it was great. I thought the choice to bring like Guy Gardner I love Guy Gardner. Inspired, and Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner totally stole the show because Superman is so boring. He's so vanilla and on purpose that way that like to bring in somebody who's the antithesis of that character wise, to play against him was great. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a really, really smart move. And I wonder if, because Captain America is a similar character type. And he really worked in the Marvel films, but maybe that was primarily because, he was primarily in the Avengers films. Like, I think like my favorite versions of Captain America was Ensemble. And like, Winter Soldier, had, well, I guess Winter Soldier, he was pretty much on his own. I don't know.
Well, my predictions are you could see where this is going, and it's right to my favorite era. It's like this was the Justice League the post-crisis Giffen McGuire Justice League.
Yep.
That's right where we're going now with the Justice League International.
With Guy Gardner is just like, perfect.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I do love the Giffen McGuire, Demides Justice League. That was so fun. Like that first arc was just so great.
That and then the Justice League Europe arc.
Yep. Yeah.
Art Steers. I could easily see them trying to adapt that, especially because I don't know if you remember the alternate universe.
I stopped reading Europe pretty fast, so I don't know how far I got into it.
That was one of my favorites. They basically brought in a group of supervillains, the Extremists. That was it.
Yeah, I didn't read that stuff.
And they were all Marvel supervillains. So it was Magneto and Dr. Octopus and Dormammu.
Interesting. That's pretty rad.
Exact analogs of those characters and it was great. It's one of my all-time favorite.
And that was in the Justice League Europe?
Or International.
International.
Europe became
Europe, and then they switched it to International, right?
Yeah, I think it was the early Justice League Europe issues. But anyways, Bart Sears did them too, so it was really awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And if we get this, I feel like Superman, a new relaunch of Superman, and FF is essentially a relaunch of the MCU.
Yeah.
And they might have some juice left in them. I feel like they're course correcting over the excesses of the last series of movies.
Yeah, I haven't. Honestly, I kind of did stop watching the Marvel films since Endgames. Or what was his last one?
There's not many that excited me at all.
I guess Endgame, yeah. Avengers Endgame was the last one I really saw. Oh, no, I did see the Multiverse of Madness. And
I enjoyed that one, actually.
That's all right. It's all right. I kind of wish they let Sam Raimi be a little bit more Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Let it be his... The problem... The problem and also the strength of the Marvel franchise is that it's a TV series. It's a series. It's a serial. Like every movie is more an episode than a standalone film.
Yeah.
And when you have a director like Sam Raimi, that actually takes away.
Sure, totally.
So
you want an auteur, you want to let them do their thing, right?
Yeah.
You want to let a Kirt Burdick be a Kirt Burdick.
That's right. And if you want me to direct your next, no.
What is the next planned project after? Let's say, how many more issues of Death of Power?
3. Solid 3.
Solid 3.
Yeah, solid 3. I already have them thumbnailed.
And then what's got a concept on what your next project is going to be?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually want to return to doing the Herbert Mullins story.
Oh yeah.
And do a little bit. I've been doing some research on it. I'm gonna have to do more. I've never done a book based on a true event.
I'll be honest, it's probably got your the most commercial potential.
I think so. I've recently with Death of Power, I've been into like doing some paintings based on some panels and stuff, and I don't know if I could, and I really like that. I like getting back into painting, and I finally got a little bit more comfortable with using acrylics, which never really worked well for me, but now I'm starting to kind of figure it out. If I do that series, the Herbert Mullins series, I don't think I'm going to be doing paintings of serial killers. That might be.
Too commercial? You're like, I don't like money. That's too much money.
It's not about the money. It's about at what point does it become?
Yeah, I get it.
Exploitation.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'm fine with certain forms of exploitation, but when it's dealing with people who've really harmed people or people who were really harmed,
yeah, that's a tough.
There's a kind of a moral decision there.
I think when you're telling a story though and doing comics, it's a different story. You get to you can tell whatever you want. And I'll tell you this, man, there's a glut of graphic novels. There's no doubt about it. Like everybody is doing graphic novels.
Yeah.
But they stink. Most of them are terrible. Yes! None of them, Kirt. None of them have what you've got. So, if you pick the topic that resonates, you're going to stand out above the rest of those people just from your design and.
It's a really hard time, like trying to promote anything or make anything,
man.
Because of the saturation, but also just because of the uncertainty of everything right now.
Well, dude. Everything from
very
AI. Well, let's bring up the inevitable topic for just a second. I want to know the Burdick report on AI. Is it like does it really? Can it ever it can replace commodified art jobs, but can it ever replace like what you do?
I'm more concerned with what a studio like Paramount or a publisher like DC or Marvel thinks it can do, because it's the executives and the people who hold the purse strings that are making the decisions, and they don't care if it's not as good. They just care if it's good enough.
Totally.
And
that's
they also,
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead, please.
They also don't care. I don't think any of these people care about the copyright issues. Right now it seems the strategy is the Uber or Airbnb strategy, where, okay, what we're doing is illegal. We fundamentally know that. We're not going to say that. But what we are going to do is get enough, users, people to get dependent on this technology to the point where we can change the legislation, we can change the copyright law, we can change ownership law to where what we are doing is now legal.
You're right.
And
to further also on that,
because
they're offering it so far below actually even what it's even costing them, like the energy costs and stuff, comparable to Uber when they kept their prices super low.
Right. And an Uber at the end of the day was just following what Amazon did.
Yes.
15 years before them. It's like, yes, we're not making profit, and we're not going to make profit for the next 10 to 15 years. But what we will have after those 10 to 15 years is a monopoly.
A monopoly.
And they will fuck everybody.
Yeah, they suck all the air out of the.
Yeah, and then we are controlling the narrative. We are controlling not only the industry, but the policy that's going to regulate the industry. And that's what their strategy is.
Hey, Roman wants to know, is Death of Power in print? Like, how do you get the early?
Oh, I have a Kickstarter going on right now, and you can get all the issues there.
Go to Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Death of Power, you're going to find it.
Yeah, Death of Power 7 is what the Kickstarter is titled under.
Is there going to be a collection? Have to assume there's going to be a collection.
I'm going to hopefully I'm going to
deluxe hardcover
in gold.
I will buy one.
They're in gold leaf.
I will spring for it for sure.
Oh, I would love that.
I don't know why you wouldn't, because here's the thing. These guys let the corporations, I hope to God they are stupid enough to say we don't need all this human talent anymore. We're gonna invest in AI, because the barrier to entry for the individual artist has never been lower. You guys don't need what they used to be able have exclusive domain over, which was gatekeeping to the market. Like you can do everything. You can make a hardcover as good, or in the case of Marvel, better than anything they're putting out. Like theirs are hot garbage. The only good Marvel graphic novels coming out are the ones that Taschen puts out or other publishers put out.
Those are really nice
for them, right?
Those are really nice. Yeah.
So like you can do better than them. You don't need them. And if they don't realize that, they need to like throw money at guys like you.
Unfortunately, now it seems the gatekeepers are the social media companies and the algorithm that is controlled by these companies. And that's not only affecting people like me, that's affecting publishers, that's affecting newspapers, that's affecting the New York Times. It's ridiculous.
Well, when Death of Power started, you might have been able to sell this through Diamond Comics distributor.
Yeah. Now that's dead.
You could have got into every comic book shop in the world, like where that's really the market for this, right? That's where, if you were to put it anywhere, you want it there.
Right. And I don't, is there any replacement of that? I don't think Lunar's allowing that, or.
Well, there's a bunch of guys trying to do it. There's guys trying to do it indie style. There's guys trying to be like an aggregator of indies. There's just not enough juice in the lemon to be worth the squeeze. If you can't carry at least Marvel or DC, let alone both, you don't have the volume to really do that. That's a theory in it, but it will only take one or two breakaway hits to maybe change that somewhat.
I wonder how Viz and Scholastic manage their releases and their distribution. They are more focused towards bookstores, it seems.
Yeah, well, they pay advances with royalties, advances against royalties, and they'll be like, here, Kirt, here's $25,000. Isn't that a lot of money? Go take a year and work on this book, okay? $25,000 a year, right? That's a lot of money you're making, slaving every day. Every day you're slaving.
That's also an amazing contract.
Right? That would be that would be sick, right? That would be sick for a first-time artist. But then if you prove if that thing is a hit, you're going to get royalties. So you're going to get paid on the back end. And then you're going to have leverage for your next contract or whatever. Yeah. I honestly think that the people writing like the tween young adult stuff is great. Like there needs to be more of that, but like somebody needs to bridge that gap that sort of like comics used to.
Right. Yeah. Like where someone's reading, Silver Age books and then they start reading Alan Moore.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I kind of do. You think like Fantagraphics and Drawn and Quarterly kind of fit that role?
No.
No, no.
Because they're not accessible. Those comics are not hardly anything they put out is it's so niche. There's no
like
like
about the new comics, because both of them put out a lot of the like the Popeye comic is a Fantagraphics comic.
Yeah, no, or it's like classic old stuff reprints. Like Fantagraphics has a career in knowing and creating those books. But like as far as like a hit for people like in high school and college age and whatever, I don't know where you go. Like Image is where you go now. Like you would kind of self-publish through Image maybe, but I don't know. There's such a weird risk serializing versus graphic novels. The people that I've seen be the most successful in the modern age were the people that publish to the web.
Yeah.
Daily.
The most successful for sure.
Build an audience and then publish collections of that. And then that ball. I've seen a lot of cartoonists get successful.
That now has been kind of taken over by the webtoons, it seems. Webtoons market, which is also interesting. But the webtoons are designed specifically for the phone, and that's the only thing that kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There are great webtoons, like Lore Olympus is really, really good, but it's not designed for the page.
Yeah.
Everything I'm interested in is for the page.
I'm with you there. Like I think a daily comic strip format for the phone it seems like a natural. A lot
of people are doing that for, like, didn't Ben Mara just do a Instagram comic that he was doing?
Oh no, you would think that is the way now for sure.
Yeah,
because you could just infinitely expand your audience, and then as that grows, you always sell a percentage. Collections to a percentage of that ever-growing audience. I think that's the only.
Yeah,
it just seems like the model of like, okay, you're hot, you're so good, Dan Klaus. I'm gonna give you $1 million for your next book. I just don't. It's not worth the risk even for most publishers these days. Because, dude, did you see like Chris Ware's Rusty Brown came out?
Well, I liked it. It was good.
I loved it. It's great, but it was on the remainder shelves within a couple of months.
Oh,
nobody buy it. No.
Oh.
So, although speaking of Chris Ware, did you see his new stamps, his new U.S. postal stamps that came out today?
No, I'm a little shocked what you just said about Rusty Brown.
Dude, I bought 5 copies for like $3 a piece.
And that's where America, that's when you knew things were going bad.
Well, the problem I'll give you with Rusty Brown is it's part 1. What are we going to wait? Yeah, dude, it doesn't end. I mean, there's Rusty Brown comics that have come out that I've read that were not in that book.
Yeah, there was also comics that I've read that before that weren't included in that book.
Right. Do you remember there was all that stuff with like the end of his life? And he's living with Chalky and the stuff with Chalky's daughter. There was all this weird shit that was not in that book.
I didn't read. Was that in that big one? Because there was a bunch of stuff in that big one that was not included. But I don't know if that was because of the format or.
It got really dark and weird. Really weird.
The worst thing about Rusty Brown is recognizing myself in the character.
A lot.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
I love the scheming against the fellow collectors and the hatred for the friend.
The guy and his friend like gets a family, gets a wife, and like Rusty going.
Yeah, I saw myself going down on the rusty path in life when I owned my comic book store and stuff, and then I was like, oh, I got to make a hard turn towards Chalky, or it's.
Well, you just didn't want it hard enough. I made a different decision.
Well, I love every decision you make, Kurt. Every creative
thanks,
decision
man.
you make. I'm always going to be a Kirt Burdick fan.
Awesome.
I appreciate the free comics, but I will also, I promise you, I will support any hardcover. I just joined your Patreon, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Awesome.
I'm gonna start flipping you some.
Oh yeah. I basically been putting my YouTube videos, which I'm trying. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what to do.
Your ASMR GI Joe. Mwah. Or should I say? Great.
Yeah, that was actually a friend of mine's idea. We were just bullshitting and we were talking about it. And I was just like, all right.
Fantastic.
And then I didn't realize that there was a bent page in that book. I bought it from Leaf. And that mother. But
when we get around to trashing Leaf, we've gone too far. Kurt, I got to get out of here. But dude, this has been, you rekindled my streaming activity.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm going to do more of it. I would love to appear on your show sometime. Curiosity.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm still trying to figure out like how to do it. I don't do streams like this.
Yeah. Well, you let me know.
Maybe we can help. I'll see. So with this, you have to the service you use. You have to have a subscription, or
well, I mean, you can record it from here too, and then upload it yourself. There's all kinds of different ways to. You could do a Zoom call. You could record whatever you. Whatever works for you, man.
All right. I'll figure something out. Maybe we can do a reading where I'm one character, you're the other character.
Oh, I love that.
That
would be great.
I'm Professor X, you're Magneto.
Find the right issue. We got to find the right issue for that. I will be in. I appreciate it, man. This is really it was so fun to just talk about comics.
Yeah. I had a great time. It was really fun talking, man.
And thanks to everybody out there if you're watching this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down.
No.
Does that make your life better when you do that? Really? Do you feel like a big man when you click the thumbs up?
No, I'm against that. Because I get thumbs down. People give me the thumbs down on some of my videos.
I'm okay with a thumbs down if you leave a comment to explain how.
No, I don't want to know the comment. I don't want you to put the thumbs. Keep the thumbs up. Maybe say something positive. I'm very sensitive, so I'm against everything you just said.
All right. I'm not going to roll any closing credits, but I'm going to roll a closing clip, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you so much, Kurt. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see y'all next time.
See what those bloody corporations do? They take your ideas and they suck them. Suck them like leeches until they've gotten every last drop of the marrow from your bones.
Hey, Teacup, why don't you chill out?